Hiya, Amy here with Amy's Wares, and I have some die cutting and stenciling to share with you today. Now I got this new to me Textures by Lou Collins die set. I have some paper scraps here that I'm going to use, and here's a photo of the finished card. I could not be more pleased with how this turned out, so I'm going to show you how I made it. I recently placed my first order with a company called Craft Stash in the UK, and Lou Collins, who designed this set, is also someone who I've been binge watching and following on YouTube. If you aren't familiar with her, I'll try and remember to link her below. If I forget, please let me know in the comments because she is brilliant. She has brilliant products, and her demos and card videos are just amazing. So I love mushrooms. I don't fancy eating them so much, but I love them. I've always loved them. So I was really stoked to get this set, and I'm just using some paper scraps here to start. This is a really good way to use up some pattern paper scraps or colored cardstock scraps. And if you don't feel like cutting out different colors, you can also just do everything in white and do ink blending if you want. So I ran these little parts through off screen through my die cutting machine, and you can see that red one was actually like a very subtle stripe. It was like a strip of pattern paper. So I felt like that would look really cute with the traditional kind of white dots on the red. See, I love mushrooms, but I don't know the names of them. So I'll be honest, I don't know what they're called. But to me, that's like a traditional sort of like toadstool looking mushroom. But let me know what that's called in the comments so I can learn. But anyway, just doing some very simple ink blending on the white portion just to kind of give it a shadow. And oftentimes the stem of these is a bit kind of creamy looking. So I also decided to try and do some ink blending on the caps just to kind of give it some additional dimension or the feeling of being round. And I'm holding everything down on my gel plate. So that's a nice hack if you have one of those but don't have one of the sticky mats. Double duty your gel plate and use it to kind of hold down your pieces that you want to ink blend on that you've already die cut. So now I'm just basically liquid gluing these pieces together, and then I will move on to the next step. Now I don't really have a plan. I'm not typically a big scene builder, but I know that I want to give it some sort of a scene for this card. So I'm just placing these down, and they line up perfectly, really easy to do. And then I have my hex chart out here for some Copic coloring because I feel like it needs a little bit more detail on the stem. I couldn't get quite enough color down or in the specific areas that I wanted, so I grabbed these very, very light creamy brown colors, and I'm just basically kind of putting in some shadows and a little bit of details underneath the mushroom cap and then also on the stem, just to kind of give it a little something extra. So very simple coloring, nothing complicated, just adding in a little bit of shadows and details in my typical lazy coloring scribbly graphic sort of fashion. So if you've watched any of my coloring videos, I don't do perfect smooth blends. I kind of do scribbly whatnots. That's just kind of my style. And it works because I'm lazy and I don't want to take 8 years coloring something. So those are done. So now I'm going to move on to the next step. I have the Grass Edger 1. This is one of many, many, many awesome edger stencils. If you aren't familiar, Colorful Life Designs is a stencil company in Texas. It's a small woman-owned business, and she has loads of these brilliant two-piece edger stencils. So you get the negative and the positive space, which make it super easy and versatile because you have a built-in mask right there in your stencil. So be sure to check out her edgers. Again, if I remember, I will try and link specifically to the edgers in the shop. But this is one of a few different grass ones. I just wanted a very simple ink blended bottom, something to ground the mushrooms on. You know, I probably should have done it more in like a forest theme with trees or whatever, but I was thinking light and happy and bright and whatever. It's snowing and cold here in Michigan, so I want to think about a sunshiny day and a pretty meadow or something. And now I have the Cloud Edger, which was actually my very first stencil from a Colorful Life Designs. It was brilliant. And then now I'm going to use these Ideology strips that my amazing friend sent me. I'm so excited. Most of them are kind of snarky and sassy, which I love, and I do have friends that I can send them to. But this one that I found in particular worked perfect with this design. I felt like the wandering theme, kind of wandering through a meadow or wandering through nature, something like that, I felt kind of tied together. So I'm just going to use my little thin foam strips here and pop this up right onto this card base. Now I am working directly on the card base, so that's US A2 size 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm going to liquid glue some of them down and then just have that one popped up, so it has a nice kind of illusion of foreground and things like that. So now these sentiments are so awesome. They're just like a sticker. I don't even need to adhere it down or anything. So I'm just going to put that down, kind of kicked off to the right on the bottom of the composition, kind of right over the base. And it says, not only does my mind wander, sometimes it walks off completely. So kind of accurate. Definitely how I can be sometimes. I can just space right out. So thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll link everything below. If you use my affiliate links, it really does help me out at no additional cost to you. So thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.